They listen. They trying to break you. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying?
Narcissist that your words mean nothing. That if they push hard enough, if they apply enough pressure, if they create enough guilt, you'll cave. And once they know that, once they see that your limits are negotiable, they'll exploit that knowledge relentlessly. So what does real enforcement look like? It means being willing to walk away from conversations that cross the line. It means removing yourself from toxic situations, even if it causes temporary discomfort. It means understanding that you don't have to argue, negotiate, or explain yourself endlessly. You simply have to act. And here's where people struggle, because action is difficult. It's uncomfortable. There's a cost to it. Setting and enforcing boundaries means accepting that the narcissist will react badly, and they will. They will accuse you of being selfish, of being cruel, of being unreasonable. They will play the victim. They will lash out because they have no interest in respecting your boundaries. Their only interest is in making sure you feel guilty enough to drop them. And this is where you have to be strong enough to tolerate the discomfort of doing what's necessary. You have to accept that when you start enforcing boundaries, the narcissist will escalate. If they used to manipulate you subtly, they might start attacking you outright. If they used to guilt trip you, they might start playing the victim more dramatically. If they used to rely on charm, they might switch to outright hostility. This is called an extinction burst, a last-ditch effort to regain control when they realize their usual tactics aren't working. And this is the moment where most people fail, because it's in this moment that the pressure feels unbearable. The accusations, the guilt, the manipulation, it all intensifies, and if you're not prepared for it, you'll give in. Think, maybe I'm being too harsh, maybe I should just explain myself one more time. And the moment you do, the narcissist knows they still have control over you. They'll pull back, act as if everything's fine for a little while, and then slowly but surely start pushing again. The only way to break this cycle is to stop giving them a reason to believe they can change your mind, to make it clear, through action, not words, that your boundaries are real, that they are not up for negotiation, and that violating them has consequences. That might mean cutting contact. It might mean disengaging emotionally. It might mean refusing to respond to provocations. Whatever the situation calls for, the key is consistency. Because in the end, boundaries are not about controlling the narcissist's behavior. You will never control them. They will always do what serves their ego, their control, their power. Boundaries.
You're welcome, Miss Tom.
It might mean disengaging emotionally. It might mean refusing to respond to provocations. Whatever the situation calls for, the key is consistency. Because in the end, boundaries are not about controlling the narcissist's behavior. You will never control them. They will always do what serves their ego, their control, their power. Boundaries are about controlling your own behavior, about deciding what you will and will not tolerate, about choosing to remove yourself from situations that drain you, about prioritizing your own well-being over the illusion that you can change them. And when you finally do that, when you finally enforce boundaries with unwavering resolve, something remarkable happens.
What happens?
The narcissist loses their grip on you. Their power fades. You begin to reclaim something they were never meant to have in the first place: your autonomy, your dignity, your peace. And that is a battle worth winning. One of the most difficult realizations you'll have when dealing with a narcissist is understanding that they will never give you closure. That apology you're waiting for, that moment where they finally acknowledge the pain they caused you, it's not coming. And the longer you wait for it, the longer you stay trapped in their psychological web. Because here's the thing. Narcissists don't reflect on their actions the way healthy people do. They don't lie awake at night wrestling with guilt, wondering how they can make things right. They don't replay the past.
In other words, they will never take ownership. You're never gonna get it. That's a song, ain't it? Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never. Yeah, you're never gonna get it because they're never going to take ownership. To take ownership would be for them to see themselves a wretch undone. Right. I think I have thought about, can a narcissist really, that's between them and God. I'm gonna leave that alone. You're never gonna get it because they are not going to, one, admit that they were wrong, because they are not going to take ownership. It's going to always be your fault. It's going to always be something is wrong with you. It's going to always be you crazy. It's going to always be some form of manipulation. They're going to always remember what you did. Always. Never what they did, but always what you did. Y'all, I'm going to need for y'all to double tap the face of your phone as you are listening in. Double tap 2 times. Or go ahead and just leave. And this time when you leave, don't come back. And I'm saying this matter of factly. If you cannot double tap the face of your phone to say thank you, AunTeaFee, thank you, I appreciate it, then go ahead and just leave. And don't come back. I'm going to show you how I just don't care. Don't come back. If you're on your computer, hi, Stephanie. You're welcome. You're welcome. Queen said, right, or just go. Thank you, Sky Rob. I really appreciate it. And if you're on your computer, hit the 3 dots at the top right. It's just saying thank you. Thank for being here. You're welcome. I mean, we want to listen. I got another one that follows this. This is just the first one. Then I have a backup that's going to say it. And just in case, sometimes we have to be politically astute or say it in a political way. And then sometimes, we got to hear it another way. Just in case we missed it here, we'll for sure catch it there. I kind of like it like that. Sometimes people think, well, oh, AunTeaFee, she just be saying, her words, where she grabbed them words from. Sometimes we have to say it in ways that everybody gonna understand it. That just keeps you reachable and teachable as far as I'm concerned. If I have to speak politically astute or on another level that's more professional, then I will do that. But just in case I don't have to, and I want to make it a jokey hoodie where everybody can get it, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I have one that's following this one. So come on, because y'all know my phone be tripping when I start telling the truth. First, I'm getting all these suspicious and spam calls back to back to back. And then it's going to go from there to my charger ain't going to charge and my phone going to drop. Y'all know the routine. It's a pattern. I'm telling you. Patterns matter. It's a pattern. Let's go. Come on, baby. Let's go.
And think, maybe I went too far. That's not how their mind works. The longer you stay trapped in their psychological web. Because here's the thing. Narcissists don't reflect on their actions the way healthy people do. Mm-hmm. They don't lie awake at night wrestling with guilt, wondering how they can make things right. They don't replay the past and think, maybe I went too far. That's not how their mind works. Their concern is not the truth. Their concern is maintaining control. And if that means rewriting history, if that means making you the villain, if that means distorting reality so thoroughly that even you begin to doubt yourself, then that is exactly what they will do. And if you're not careful, you will spend years, maybe even decades, trying to extract something from them that they are fundamentally incapable of giving. You will hold out hope that if you just say the right thing, if you just prove your point convincingly enough, they'll finally see. They won't, not because the truth isn't clear, but because admitting it would mean relinquishing the power they have over you. So you have a choice. You can keep chasing an apology that will never come. You can keep replaying conversations in your head, imagining different outcomes, trying to make sense of something that was never meant to make sense.
Somewhere on a stretch of road in a town you've never heard of, there's a Chevy truck. And the person who drives it, well, that's a Chevy person.
Why? Or you can decide that your healing is not dependent on them. You can decide that closure is something you give to yourself. And that's not easy, because we are wired to seek resolution. Our minds crave order, narrative coherence. When someone wrongs us, when they betray our trust, when they inflict wounds that linger, we want acknowledgement. We want justice. We want the story to have a clean ending. But life is messy. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, the ending you want, the resolution where they finally take accountability, is an illusion. So what do you do instead? You reclaim your own narrative. You stop waiting for them to set you free, and you set yourself.
Reclaim your own narrative. That's powerful. Reclaim your own narrative. I'm not trying to reclaim somebody else's narrative. You're not in control of that. Their narrative is between you, of them and God. That's how I need for us to look at it. Their narrative is between that person and God. Reclaim your own narrative. Stop giving people permission to mishandle you, and reclaim your own narrative and handle yourself accordingly. You're not going to dictate how my story goes. You don't have that type of power. And I'm not giving you that type of permission. There was 4 or 5 red flags along the way. I mean, after the second red flag, you can't handle my narrative. You understand? You cannot handle my narrative. And I don't have to see 3 red flags. 1 was enough. Two is it. I let a person get to 2 just to prove that you are not a narcissist within yourself. You understand? I'm just saying. I saw it. But you know, in all fairness, okay, you get 1, but 2 is it. I cannot stand. Lord, please help me with this. I'm telling on myself, but I cannot stand when you are, trying to be fair, because people would tell you, you this or that, your expectations and da. Listen, I done paid my dues to a lot, but anyway, anyway. So this is what happens when you let people try to dictate or negotiate your boundaries. You understand? They will intentionally mishandle it. So that's why we got to stop this. I was about to go into a story, but I'm not, because I don't want to offend somebody. Ain't that crazy? Trying not to offend somebody who is hell-bent on trying to manipulate you, mislead you, and misguide you to get their way. Is that the craziest mess? And then we go along with it for what? For what? No. No, I don't pay my dues to that type of stuff. I feel like if you are at a point in your life that you are serious about some things, then all those games and manipulation and trying to turn somebody and change somebody, that is out the window. Ain't nobody gonna change nobody. That is God's job. Don't let nobody control your narrative. Control your own narrative. Because it will be you that's left in the end to deal with it. That person gonna be gone playing with somebody else. You understand? So control your narrative and don't let nobody tell you something's wrong with you for you getting in control of your own narrative that you gonna have to live with. And if that means you're gonna have to live with it by yourself, I suggest that when you talking to God, that you ask God to make you lovable to your own self. Where you can have fun with your own self. You can make your own self laugh. You understand? You can make your own self happy. Yeah. You need to incorporate that in your prayers. And you're going to have people on the outside looking in thinking, well, damn. She got to have, or he got to have. He got a side piece. He ain't just that happy by his damn self. You a lie? Because that person is in control of their own narrative. You understand? Let's go. Go ahead.
You reclaim your own narrative. You stop waiting for them to set you free, and you set yourself free. That means accepting that some people will never understand what they did to you and choosing to move forward anyway. That means letting go of the idea that their validation is necessary for your healing. It's not, it never was, and that's where true power lies. Because as long as you're waiting for them to acknowledge the truth, they still have control over you. As long as you're hoping for a moment of clarity from them, they still dictate your emotional state. But the moment you stop seeking their validation, the moment you decide that their opinion, their version of events, their refusal to acknowledge reality is irrelevant, that is the moment you win. That is the moment they lose their hold on you. And here's the paradox. The less you need closure from them, the more power you have over your own life. The moment you stop explaining, stop defending, stop waiting, you become untouchable. Because a narcissist's greatest weapon is their ability to manipulate your need for resolution. Take that away and they have nothing. Healing from a narcissist isn't about getting them to see what they've done. It's about seeing it clearly yourself. It's about recognizing that their lack of accountability is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own brokenness. It's about understanding that closure doesn't come from them, it comes from you finally deciding that you don't need their permission to move on. And when you do that, when you truly let go, something remarkable happens. The weight they placed on you begins to lift. The anger, the confusion, the self-doubt. It starts to fade, not because what they did was okay, but because you've chosen to no longer let it define you. In the end, the greatest revenge against a narcissist isn't proving them wrong. It isn't making them apologize. It isn't even exposing them. It's thriving without them. It's living a life so full, so independent, so unshackled from their influence that they become nothing more than a distant memory.
And that's okay with me. Okay, y'all ready for the second one? Come on, because y'all know this phone will start tripping. I need for y'all to hit the like button. Hold on. Hit the like button. Hit the like button for AunTeaFee. Y'all remember that? Hit the like button Please hit the like button. Boy, I used to sing my own little intro back in the day. Hold on, I got one more before I let go. Y'all gonna make me stun on y'all.
Remains unchanged. No amount of a
Mm-mm. I used to sing my own intro, Queen. Lord, I done got lazy. Let's
Welcome
go.
to Faith's Washington Inspiration. There comes a
Welcome.
moment in life when you stop listening to what people say and start paying attention to what they do. A moment when apologies no longer impress you, when regret-filled words no longer carry weight, and when you realize that emotion without transformation is just noise. Anybody can sound sincere when they're cornered. Anybody can feel sorry when consequences show up. But real character, real growth, shows itself after the apology, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching, when it would be easier to fall back into old habits than to rise into responsibility. See, an apology that doesn't come with change is not a bridge. It's a pause, a delay, a temporary calm before the same storm returns. And too many people get trapped in cycles because they confuse emotion with evolution. Feeling bad is not the same as doing better. Saying I didn't mean to doesn't erase repeated damage. Life doesn't reward intentions. It responds to discipline, consistency, and action. The world doesn't move forward because someone feels guilty. It moves forward when someone decides to grow. So today, this is not about anger, and it's not about judgment. This is about clarity. It's about learning to recognize patterns, to value your time, and to stop negotiating with behavior that refuses to change. Because when apologies don't
Thank you,
lead to better
Queen.
choices, they become warnings. And wisdom isn't found in waiting for words to turn into action. Wisdom is found in moving forward when they don't. Words are easy, patterns are honest. There is a hard truth most people avoid because it forces accountability.
Hey,
And that
Natural in
truth
New
is
Orleans.
this: words are easy, but patterns never lie. Anyone can speak when emotions are high. Anyone can apologize.
Patterns never lie. My. Patterns never lie. Can I get some amens? Patterns don't lie. That's why your words gotta, actions. Yeah, they gotta match. Yeah, yeah. Patterns don't lie. Let's go.
Because it forces accountability. And that truth is this: words are easy, but patterns never lie. Anyone can speak when emotions are high. Anyone can apologize when they feel threatened, exposed, or afraid of losing something. Words cost nothing. They require no discipline, no sacrifice, no long-term commitment. But patterns are built over time, and they reveal who a person truly is when the spotlight fades and the pressure lifts. We live in a world that is overly impressed by language. People are moved by tone, by tears, by dramatic apologies, by promises spoken with urgency. But life is not changed by moments. It is shaped by repetition. What someone repeatedly does carries more truth than what they passionately say once. A single apology might touch the heart, but a consistent pattern either heals or harms. And when behavior remains unchanged, no amount of emotional language can
What
override.
heals? Hold on. God dang it. He going too fast. Slow down. Slow down. Hold up. Hold up. Y'all hit the like button. Hold on.
Impressed by language. People are moved by tone, by tears, by dramatic apologies, by promises spoken with urgency. But life is not changed by moments. It is shaped by repetition. What someone repeatedly does carries more truth than what they passionately say once. A single apology might touch the heart, but a consistent pattern either heals or harms. And when behavior remains unchanged, no amount of emotional language can override that reality. Patterns are formed in private. They grow quietly through choices made when no one is watching, when excuses are available, When accountability feels inconvenient, that's why patterns are honest. They don't perform, they don't exaggerate, they don't try to impress. They simply show up again and again, telling the same story over time. If someone apologizes but continues the same behavior, their pattern has spoken louder than their words ever could. This is
Absolutely.
where many people get stuck. They fall in love with potential instead of evidence. They hold on to the hope that this time will be different.
Ooh-wee. They fall in love with what instead of what? Hi, Eddie. Who can they fall in love? Come on, somebody tell me. I know what it say, but tell me. They fall in love with what? That's teachable, y'all. Come on, y'all. Can somebody tell me what they said? What he said? Y'all ain't listening with y'all good ear. They fall in love with instead of what? Can't nobody tell me? Wow. I gotta put it in the comments. Y'all not listening. He said they fall in love with potential instead of evidence. That's why they miss them red flags, y'all. That's why we, the people, miss the red flags. Because we fall in love with potential instead of evidence. Wow. That's heavy. Let's go.
They don't try to impress. They simply show up again and again, telling the same story over time.
Lies.
If someone apologizes but continues the same behavior, their pattern has spoken louder than their words ever could. This is where many people get stuck. They fall in love with potential instead of evidence. They hold on to the hope that this time will be different because the apology sounded different. It felt deeper. It came with emotion, maybe even with tears. But emotion does not equal transformation. Pain does not automatically produce growth. And regret without discipline is just a reaction, not a decision. Growth begins when awareness turns into action. Saying, I see my mistake is only the first step. The real work begins when someone chooses discomfort over familiarity, change over convenience, discipline over desire. That choice must be repeated daily, especially when no one is reminding them to do better. That repetition is what creates a new pattern. And without a new pattern, there is no real change, only recycled apologies. One of the greatest mistakes people make is assuming intention matters more than impact. They say, I didn't mean to hurt you, as if intention erases repetition. But life responds to results, not excuses. You can have good intentions and still cause consistent damage. You can feel remorse and still refuse to evolve. Patterns don't care about intent, they reveal outcomes, and outcomes determine trust. Trust is not rebuilt with speeches. It is rebuilt with consistency. It is rebuilt when someone shows over time that they are willing to act differently even when it costs them comfort. Trust grows slowly because patterns must be observed repeatedly before they can be believed. That's why people who demand immediate forgiveness without behavioral change are often more interested in relief than responsibility. Pay attention to what happens after the apology. Do actions change when there is no threat of consequences? Does respect increase when emotions cool down? Does effort remain consistent when forgiveness has already been given? These questions expose truth. Because anyone can behave well temporarily, only character sustains change permanently. Patterns also reveal how much someone values you. When a person truly values something, they protect it. They adjust their behavior, they become intentional. If the same boundary is crossed again and again, it's not because it was forgotten, it's because it was not prioritized. Respect is not proven by what someone says in a moment of regret, it is proven by what they refuse to repeat. This is not about perfection. Growth is messy. Change takes time. But there is a difference between struggling forward and standing still. There is a difference between occasional failure with visible effort and habitual behavior with endless apologies. Patterns show direction. Are they moving toward growth, or are they circling the same mistake? There comes a point where wisdom requires observation over optimism, where maturity demands that you stop arguing with evidence. When the same behavior repeats, the pattern is the message. And ignoring that message doesn't make you loyal, it makes you vulnerable. Life teaches through repetition until the lesson is learned, and sometimes the lesson is not about them, it's about you. Understanding patterns also requires emotional strength. It means resisting the urge to be moved by words alone. It means pausing long enough to observe consistency. It means allowing time to reveal truth instead of rushing to believe promises. This kind of strength protects your peace, your time, and your future. Words can inspire, but only actions transform. Apologies can open the door,